What's up, Knicks Nation? We are finally getting closer to NBA training camp. Knicks Media Day is in a couple of weeks, believe it or not, and I absolutely cannot wait for this next season. What we have today is an article by an NBA.com reporter, and he sat down with Tom Thibodeau, and Tom Thibodeau had some very interesting things to say regarding the New York Knicks. So what we're going to do is share my screen and we're going to go through this article together. He even had some interesting things to say regarding Julius Randle, and it is not bad. So I'm excited for the season for sure. Share my screen, jump right into the question. Okay, he asked, let's circle back a little bit. This is from Steve Ashburner. This is NBA on NBA.com. He sat down with Tom Thibodeau, and they went back and forth. First question, what do you hope to carry over from last year's playoff exposure? Thibodeau, obviously the OG Anunoby signing was huge for us, and then adding Mikal was phenomenal. Getting Julius back will be huge as well. We lost Hartenstein, which is what we'll have to replace. But I think we have versatility where we can play smaller at times because of OG's ability to guard big. That's important because I'm going to get into what he says regarding Julius Randle pretty soon. Julius and Josh can guard big as well. I like that. Julius and Josh can guard big. We all know Josh Hart and Julius Randle can, get down in the trenches on defense when their name is called. Then he says, how intrigued are you to build a defense around a pair of wings like Anunoby and Bridges? He says what it adds to us is the versatility of both. Allows us to give different looks to a primary ball handler. We've been playing Dante on those guys to start. Now we can come after that with Bridges, then OG, then Hart. We can constantly change up our look for who's guarding the ball handler. Also, OG and Hart are very disruptive off the ball. So I like to use them that way. The versatility of the defense will be a big thing for us. He's referring to all of the different lineups where he can use OG, Mikal, Josh Hart, Dante. It is going to be super fun to watch all these little lineups and tinkered lineups that the New York Knicks are going to play with come training camp. But let's get to what he says regarding Julius Randle. So he asked, getting Randle back from shoulder surgery. He was an all-star before he got hurt in January. Is the good news. What type of challenge is it to incorporate him into a team that changed while he was out? Thibodeau's answer, I think Julius has always adapted to whatever challenge he's faced each year. People forget the level that he's played at. 4 years ago, he had a monster season, and we didn't have the shooting we have now. So the floor is going to be more open. Dante off the bench, Mikal in the starting lineup, OG in the starting lineup. Look out. It was amazing in January. Then he says, we got a glimpse of that in January, which was his last month of basketball. People forget the guy was 25, 10, and 5. He's had a lot of success, and he's been a big part of winning the last 4 years in New York. The more good players you have, the more sacrifices you have to make, not only by Julius, by everybody. Not only by Julius, by everybody. So there's been a lot of talk lately of how Julius Randle is going to fit in with the new Villanova guys and the new Mikal Bridges. And look, Julius Randle showed us in January that he can fit with OG Anunoby, and it was amazing. I mean, the New York Knicks were the best team in the NBA. Now you add Mikal, I only see it getting even better than that. So let's get to the crux of this article where he says losing Isaiah Hartenstein is big. Obviously, the news of the offseason has been the New York Knicks really haven't replaced Isaiah Hartenstein. They really haven't replaced a backup big position. Well, Tom Thibodeau gives some interesting insight about how he thinks the replacement of Hartenstein will go regarding the lineup. So he says, the question, how do you begin to replace Hartenstein? Tom Thibodeau, his answer, says, we went through that last year. We started the season where Mitchell was a starter and he was off to a monster start. Remember, Mitchell Robinson was one of the best centers in the league, dominating. When he went out, Jericho Sims started initially, then he got hurt. Then Isaiah came in and did what he did, but when he got hurt, Precious came in along with Taj, so we rotated guys at that position the entire year. Then he says, we'll probably have to do it by committee. We'll look at some different things because we have versatility. We could see Julius more at the 5. We could see Julius more at the 5. I don't want to do that for long stretches. It would take its toll, but have him do it for 10 or 15 minutes. I think he can do it well. He also would create a lot of offensive advantages. If you have Julius Randle at the 5, obviously that creates offensive advantages for the Knicks, and that creates defensive problems for the opponent. So Julius Randle at the 5. Let's talk about this a little bit. So I wanted to bring up last season, believe it or not, Julius Randle at the 5 position, where he was the center in the New York Knicks lineup. There was 14 possessions where Julius Randle was out there at the center position. It was Randle, RJ Barrett at the 4, Josh Hart at the 3, Emmanuel Quickley at the 2, and Jalen Brunson at the point guard position. That was for 14 possessions. 4 possessions with Randle at the 5 and Dante in that lineup. So he can do it. Tom Thibodeau says he only wants Julius Randle to do it in 10 to 15 minute spurts. What that's telling me is the Knicks are going to stagger Julius Randle. So Randle's probably going to be one of the first guys to come off to get subbed out. And then he's probably going to be one of the, first guys to come back in terms of like in the second quarter. So when Julius Randle gets subbed out, he will probably get subbed back in the second quarter for like 10 to 15 minutes throughout the game, locking down the center position. Look, Tom Thibodeau has shown us that he really doesn't like to do that. But now what this team is, how this team is built, losing Hardenstein, he may have to do it more often than not unless somebody in training camp can really solidify that role. I believe Julius Randle can thrive in this position. I'm looking at many different lineups with Randle at the 5. If you surround him with shooters, obviously with Jalen Brunson running the ship, I think we will be able to lock things down on that front, especially with OG Anunoby out there. You'll probably see a lot of lineups with Randle at the 5 and OG Anunoby at the 4. But look, he rarely did it last season. I mean, 14 possessions with Randle and Barrett, 4 possessions with Randle, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Quickley, Brunson. It's going to be a new look regarding Julius Randle. I think that this is going to be a big season for him. I think his shoulder is going to be huge for him. Whether he comes at the training camp 100% or not, I think that he is determined to have a big year for this team because there's been a lot of hoopla this summer surrounding Julius Randle, and Tom Thibodeau just pretty much gives us some reassurance that Julius Randle is a major part to this team, and I agree. Julius Randle is a major part to this team. Like Tom Thibodeau says, people forget that this guy is 25, 10, and 5. That's rare in this NBA. So Julius Randle, in my opinion, is due for a big season. That was Tom Thibodeau's little information that he gave us. So, a lot of people were speculating, but now that it's coming out of the horse's mouth, it's coming out of the coach's mouth. Now we can kind of figure out what is going on in the mind of Tom Thibodeau. I'm excited. Training camp is in a few weeks. Media day is coming up soon. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of this news? Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Let me know. Subscribe to the channel. As always, smash the thumbs up button. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. I'll catch you guys next time. Let's go Knicks. Peace.